Gucci bucket hat, 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 Gucci bucket hat. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Bucket Hat Talks. The topic of today is, why do we stay in relationships we know are wrong? Episode 4 of Bucket Hat Talks. Why do we stay in relationships we know are wrong? Okay. Not clipping this. That's fine. Calm. Got the broski here.
Yo.
Sipping on gin and juice. Lay back. No, I'm joking. There's no gin and juice. It's all ice cream. I'll be about to do I didn't even set my watch for the walk. About to do our 10K. Get the fitness in. Get some content in. Nice little podcast. All right. So the question of today is, or the topic of the day is, why do we stay in relationships we know are wrong? Sir, do you have a question for the chat?
What constitutes a relationship being
Ha! That's it. We starting off strong, boy. What? Yeah. What constitutes a relationship being wrong? It's a big boy question to start off. Very good question. I think the short answer, what constitutes a relationship being wrong? Any relationship that is toxic. And toxic is kind of broad. It's a broad topic. What makes a relationship toxic? I think to an extent, almost every relationship has some level of that energy in it, right? There's no perfect relationship, so every relationship must have some of that energy in it. But I think a relationship is wrong when there's more toxic energy than there is positive energy, right? So if you're in a relationship that's degrading you, devaluing you more than it's uplifting you or increasing your self-esteem or benefiting you in a positive manner, then it's wrong. And there's two people in a relationship, but for one person it could be wrong, and for the other person it could be amazing, right? One person could be reaping all the benefits of the relationship, and in that sense the relationship as a whole is wrong, but for that individual person, they're having a wonderful time, like a gold digger or a playboy, for example. They may be getting the better end of the stick, you could say. So that's what I would say constitutes a relationship being wrong, is where the overall energy that you receive from the relationship is negative. And it's not beneficial. It's not what you want out of the relationship. It's a very good question. Very, very, very good question. W in the chat.
How do you know somebody? How do you know if somebody is the one?
How do you know if somebody is the one? So here's my 2 cents. This is a really good question. How do you know if somebody is the one? So everyone, I think there is definitely some people, if you think of it as a scale, your percentages, there's some people you meet who automatically are highly rated on this scale. Automatically, there is a strong connection, a strong attraction. You don't have to work very hard for things to be effortless within that relationship, at least in the beginning anyway. So they start off on a high number. They might start off on 70%. And to you, that 70% feels like I've found my soulmate, you know? Well, they may be your soulmate, but best believe that. So I don't think there's such a thing as perfect. I think we die we die in the endeavor of perfection, in the pursuit of happiness, in the pursuit of trying to achieve something great in our lives and in our relationships. So even if that person meets you at 70%, it might be that you're poor, for example, and finances get in the way of your relationship, and that 70 turns into 55. Or it could be that somebody catches an illness, and that happens in life. And maybe you no longer find them attractive because they're in a wheelchair. Stuff like this happens. So life can change a lot of scenarios. And I think the relationships that last are the ones that are people that want to make it last. Simple as that, right? Two people that want to make it last. So in terms of that person being at 100%, they grow into that. And you will change, and what you find attractive might also change. But the point is that they're also growing alongside you. So that's kind of the answer to that question. It's a very difficult question because I don't think there is such a thing as the one. I think there is many people that have high percentages, so they start off on a higher level. You might meet somebody who's 20% and have to work your socks off, or they have to work their socks off, whatever, to get to that 100. But I think there's definitely people that resonate with you stronger. So they may seem like a soulmate, and that's what you could consider a soulmate. Or you could consider the one. But also another thing, which maybe that's another question, it could be the right person, wrong time. Right? It could be the right person, wrong time. And if it's the right person, wrong time, there's not much that you can do about that. Because the timing is wrong, right? You're not the person who you can be that can hold that relationship. Maybe you can start the relationship, but you can't keep it, sustain it over a long period of time. So that's kind of my answer to that. It's a very good question. W's in the chat.
Do you think soulmates are real?
Okay, so the question is, do I think soulmates are real? 100% I think soulmates are real. But I think you have more than one. I don't think there's just one person in the whole 7 billion people that's your one individual soulmate. Because the thing is, like I said, I think you meet people and they may be and kind of touching on our previous podcast, there's 3 types of people in a relationship. There's 2 lazies, 1 lazy, 1 productive, or 2 productive. This is basically all relationships fit into this. And hopefully you find someone that's willing to grow with you, because it's a conscious choice. It is really a conscious choice. So 100% there's such a thing as the one, 100% there's such a thing as soulmates. The egg just.
What, Rowlet, fam?
Yeah, W's in the chat. So 100%. Soulmates exist. It's real. But A, do you even meet this person in your lifetime? They could be in India and you're in Timbuktu. And B, even if you meet that person, is it the right timing? Are you in a position to sustain that relationship for it to actually reach its full potential? Think about a big tree. How many seasons does a tree have to go through to become, majestic and reach its full growth? Like thousands of years, right? It's a continual progress and a relationship between the tree and the soil. So it's that type of thing. It's a good analogy actually for a relationship. But yeah, we are the way lit.
Well, I mean, you kind of touched on it, but it was
yeah,
right, even right person, wrong time. And if so, why? Because if they were right person, then they only meet at the right time.
This is a really good question. So the question is do I believe in right person, wrong time? We're about to get to a busy part of the road, so I'm gonna just chill for a second. We'll hold that question in the air. Once we cross the road safely, make it to the other side, then I will continue. W's in the chat, we all the way lit. We're gonna take a commercial break.
Commercial break.
Yeah, while I talk about the benefits of walking. So walking is 100%, 50 times better for your knees. It helps target a different type of fat than you would if you was doing high intensity cardio. And it's beautiful to just be able to get the fresh air, see sights. Well, I say fresh air, but fresher air than if you were stuck in your room, let's say, huh? So if you're trying to burn fat, lose weight, and you want to join the podcast, drop me a DM, and you can be our next guest. We are the way live. Yatta! Alright, cool. So, remind me, what was the question again?
Right person all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So why is the right person at the right time?
So, this is a brilliant question. Brilliant question. Is there such a thing as right person, wrong time? Right person, wrong time. And if they were the right person, then shouldn't it mean that you met them at the right time? So this is a very interesting concept. It's a very interesting concept. So,
What the hell is that? You've seen that before.
yeah, this is new Pokemon. This is new gen, bro.
Right, yes.
So, here's my 2 cents on right person, wrong time. 1,000% yes. The reason why they're the right person is, like I said, they may hit a very high mark on that scale. And the truth is, there is something about the you right now that attracts the them right now, if that makes sense. Because the truth is, the reason why, you good? The reason why the relationship might fail is because maybe you're too immature or they're too immature, or, you know, it could be circumstantial. It could be someone's about to get a promotion or a job somewhere and you get taken to another part of the world. That could be a situation. It could be, you know, a death in the family happens and they're not ready to commit to a relationship because they've got responsibilities. There's so many scenarios here where what makes it the wrong time that maybe hasn't got nothing to do with you. But then there's a lot of things that probably has got to do with you. And I would say, I know I keep bringing it back to finances, but it is a big role in everyone's life. I mean, even if you're rich, it could be right time. Doesn't mean just because you're rich, it's the right time. And that might not be it at all. But the truth is, let's say in an example where, because you haven't got the finances to sustain the relationship, it's become the wrong timing. But in that same sense, the you, you're rich in Pokemon Unite, big dub. W chat. The you that attracts that person is the you right now. And the you that maybe has £100 million in the bank wouldn't look at the girl. You wouldn't look at the same girl. You probably wouldn't look at the same girl, and you wouldn't be in the same areas to even connect with that same person. Right? So that's an interesting thing about the timing thing. Because if there was a situation with the timing, like you're too mature, for example, so you don't know how to handle certain situations, you're not emotionally developed enough. Maybe the person who is emotionally developed enough wouldn't attract that girl or wouldn't attract that boy. Maybe the person who's emotionally developed enough would have a completely different energy and you wouldn't pick that person as your partner. So it's quite interesting about the timing thing, actually, because the circumstances that usually ends the relationship are usually the circumstances that, anyway, if they were corrected, you wouldn't be together. W in the chat. My man said he's gonna provide for his wife with infinite AOS tickets.
Yes.
W in the chat.
Um,
Yeah, that's a great question, by the way. Yeah.
why do people stay in a relationship and avoid the red flags?
Okay, wonderful question. So the next question is, why do people stay in relationships but avoid the red flag? Do we wanna cross the road? But I like the light in here though. Oh, they're trying to cross the road. Oh, they're getting into that car. Okay. All right, bet. All right. So the question was, why do people stay in relationships and ignore the red flags? Well, I think this is a great question. A red flag. Okay, I'm just reading the chat real quick. A red flag in a girl is she asks you for money weekly without giving anything back, like designer items. That's a very big red flag. W chat. That's a good example. Well, you know why people in that scenario where you have a girl that's asking you for these luxury items, maybe you're in a privileged position that you're able to provide that. And the reason why you stay there is because you think, if I buy her this bag, if I buy her this jewelry, she's gonna like me, she's gonna love me. You think that, oh, if I do this thing for this person, that maybe then they'll love me. So really it's just, you're searching for the validation. So you're seeing these red flags, and maybe you think, oh, he's drinking alcohol every night, but maybe for me he'll change, right? Maybe he's gonna eventually stop. Oh, sometimes he doesn't hit me when he's drunk. No, B, you need to leave. You need to leave that scenario. People very rarely change. People very rarely change. Like, by human nature, humans don't want to change unless they're forced to change. We're probably the most adaptable creatures on the planet. By definition, that's probably why we're the dominant species, right? Because we've adapted to our environment the best out of all animals and whatever, right? But at the same time, we are the slowest to change unless we are forced to change. So if somebody is comfortable, if they know they can get away with taking advantage of you, best believe they're gonna keep on taking advantage of you. They're not gonna change. Why would they change? Because they know that, oh, if I cheat on you, you're gonna take me back. You know, they know that. Oh, now she knows, oh, even if I ask him for a bag, I don't need to sleep with him. I don't need to do anything with him, right? I can just keep on asking for a bag and then just cry and moan and or maybe come and give him a hug, but not actually commit to a serious relationship with him. Yeah, W's in the chat. So if you really feel like, yo, I'm in a scenario where I'm seeing these red flags, but I'm giving this person the benefit of the doubt. No, babes, you should doubt the benefit. Don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Doubt the benefit. What am I getting from this scenario, right? And what am I giving and what am I receiving? Not to say that things should be transactional, but you also need to protect yourself, right? You need to protect yourself from people taking advantage of you. And if people are taking advantage of you, they will continue to do so. And it's actually your job to set up the boundary. So if someone's asking me for, oh yeah, if a girl asking me for something, I'm raising like my eyebrow raises, you know, I'm like, what's going on here? This is a bit fishy, and I can kind of see what the intentions are. So make sure you protect yourself at all times, male or female, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your orientation is. Don't let someone take advantage of you because you want love. Like, you deserve true love, and you deserve to be treated how you want to be treated. And it's actually your job to set those barriers up. W's in the chat. That was a great question. Let's have a progress. What are we saying on the
Yeah,
Pokemon?
bro, there's bare starters. Like, there's so many starters right now, yeah. And like, you see the bears, torches and that. I think it's full right now. Man.
Why did I see that just now?
Uh,
What's that, bro? I'm not gonna grease you up on thing, yeah. But what is that? No, there should be no story there. Why is that even there? All right, let's save that for. No, let's save that for the. I don't want to. Yeah, that's an end of stream conversation. I don't want to grease you up on the stream, but you should not be receiving messages from that girl. Literally, okay. Next question. Next question. Next question.
Why? Okay.
You better be getting some answers from this podcast, bro.
Yeah, if someone believes that love is enough, then isn't it fine? Isn't that enough?
So this is a really good question. Is love enough? You know what? The short answer is no. And I'll give you the reason why. Here's my evidence for this. Maybe 100, 200 years ago, the relationship bond had a lot of defining factors, and people's roles were a lot more clearer than they are now. Okay? So as technology has advanced, people's roles are a little bit more confusing because there is more opportunity, but also there is also a lack of opportunity for a high margin of people, right? So there's a higher margin of bro, I can't even pronounce that. I can't pronounce that word. That's an L in the chat. Yeah, that word. There's a lot more of them, and also there's a lot more rich people than there were before. Anyway, I say this to say, love is like the blood, right? You can say it's the blood or it's the glue. Oh wait, we're doing a short walk.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to do the full. It's up to you. I mean, I don't mind busting. I don't mind going. That would let you do the Tesco route, but there'll be no side quests. The only side quest would be getting a drink.
It's up to you.
It's up to me. Alright. I'll get the drinks today then. Alright, cool. Let me just finish this off. So the question was, oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, you going to cinema today or no?
Well, 6. It probably is a show. It's probably something at 8. So
well, we'll be home by then, for sure. We'll be home in like an hour max.
I'll just see what's on.
Alright, cool. Let me just view it.
And if not, I'll just rent a film. I mean, I was watching the drama. I had to go. I didn't finish it. So maybe I finished that.
Alright, bet. Sorry about that chat. We had some technical difficulties. So, question is love enough? The short answer, again, is no. The reason for this, right, is because love is not a binary thing. It's a living thing, right? That needs love and care and nurturing and cherishing, and it will grow over time. There will be times where you don't like your partner. You'll look at that girl in the face and say, I don't like you. You look at that guy in the face and say, you know what? I don't like your shoes or something. I don't like your face. I don't like your toes. But you love that guy. You love him to death. Or you love that girl. You do anything for that woman. So, in that sense, love is the glue. But is it enough? No. Because what's a relationship? That might be another question. But there's more to a relationship than just love. It's not the only thing that you do. You communicate, you spend time, you go on dates, right? Hopefully you grow together, you move in together. There's so many different dynamics that within a relationship. You meet each other's friends, you meet each other's family. To be honest with you, any healthy relationship is a little bit of a miracle because there's so much involved. There's a lot involved. If their family hates you, then what then? So there's a lot involved. And the reason why I say like it's different from the past than it is now is because in the past it was always a family affair. As in, people looked for people of similar standing. I mean, if you're a woman, you was always trying to find higher standing, but that's just GG's. and the family knew about it. Like, it was a whole, and there was a courting process, which was a little bit more defined than it is now. And you wouldn't necessarily get intimate with this person until certain things have been ticked off, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I think it's because now there's a culture of multiple partners. Whereas before, like, I don't think an average person is expected to have as many partners as you do today.
Yeah, so you have way more access. You have Instagram, you have TikTok. You're seeing things that you wouldn't see. You would have been exposed to things that you wouldn't have been exposed to before. And then the FOMO of, oh, my guy just took me on this trip. My guy just bought me this bag. Or my girl can do this, my girl can do that. This one's got a bigger bum, this one's got a bigger boobs, whatever, you know? So there's a lot involved now where there weren't before. So to be honest with you, a healthy relationship, it costs a lot more anyway now than it did before. And love just isn't enough. You need to really want to be with that person, and you need to be able to grow with that person and communicate with that person, commune with that person, make plans for the future with that person, be able to represent them well in different scenarios. So yeah, love isn't enough, bro, unfortunately. But it was the thing that when you are in positions where you don't like them, that keeps you there. It's the thing that when you're in positions where times are difficult, it might keep you in the relationship. It might give you another reason to fight for that relationship rather than just walking away because it's too tough. That's what I'm saying. You know, people, the colloquial thing to say now is, oh, kids these days are giving up on relationships too early. I mean, this is why, because we had a better support system, you could say, and a better process of the picking a mate, and also you weren't spoilt for some imaginary choice, because you think you've got choice, but you haven't actually got that choice, right? You see these girls and boys on different platforms, and you think, oh, look at all these options, but pardon me, you don't actually have those options. It's just the illusion of those options, but that's enough, right? That is enough. If you're a kid in a candy store, you think you can eat all the sweets, and it stops you from picking one sweet. That's what happens, right? So it's kind of that same scenario. This is a good question. W in the chat for that one.
Is there a relationship ever worth fighting for?
This is a great question. So, is there a relationship ever? Oh my God, let's try again. Is there a relationship ever worth fighting for? Short answer: yes. Reason why: you're worth it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Nah. The short answer, or the explanation, sorry. The reason behind a relationship being worth fighting for is that, again, goes back to that right person, wrong time. And let's say there is a situation which can be overcome. You found your person, but maybe you're not ready or they're not ready for whatever reason. And the only thing that would overcome that situation might be time. So in 6 months, a year, or 2 years, whatever's holding you back is no longer going to be holding you back. To sustain a relationship through that time, you will 100% need to fight for it, because you'll be in a reality that means that you should break up, but actually in 2 years' time you'll be able to stay together and it would work. But you would have needed to have laid a foundation strong enough to overcome those 2 years. So it needed to be a joint effort. It's not a scenario where one person breaks up with one person, or you keep on breaking up, making up, breaking up, making up. That don't make sense. You should leave that. That's toxic. Any one of those scenarios is toxic. If somebody leaves that, let's say she asks for a divorce, and you're like, yeah, no, we should be fighting for this. Nah. From the point where one person has left, if she's filed the papers and divorce talk is part of the conversation, it's no longer a fighting thing anymore. It's gone. It's too late. Because even if you get back together, it's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be a brand new thing, but it's going to have less trust because this person has broken your trust already. You already know that this person is willing to leave you for whatever reason. So it's never, you can't chase, you'll be chasing a ghost. At that stage, you should leave. It's no longer worth fighting for. If he cheats on you or if he leaves you in the dust and then comes back later, oh, actually, you know, I left you for these reasons, let's get back together. Nah. Why didn't we fix those reasons when we was in a relationship still? Why did you need to break up with me to come to that conclusion? So in that scenario, they've lost the opportunity. Okay, we got something in the chat. Let me just read this real quick. I remember a girl in my school, she was beautiful, but she wanted everything done for her. She wanted people to pay for her food, for her devices, everything she desires. But all she gave back was a thanks. She was so far gone that everybody avoided her. Exactly. That's another prime example of like, yes, she may be like beautiful, she may be like wonderful, whatever. But in that scenario, you can clearly see, yeah, because she wasn't worthy, she had no one for prom. W in the chat. W's in the chat? No, because you can't overextend your value and not give back. Every relationship is about give and take, take and give. It's a mutual. It needs to be mutual. If it's not mutual, if it's too one-sided, it's never going to be worth it, and it's unsustainable. That's a clear example of something that you shouldn't be fighting for. Like, hell no, you should not be fighting for that. You know, you should not be fighting for that. So the relation, I can give you an example that you should be fighting for. The example that you should be fighting for is, hey, significant other, this is the situation, this is what we're in, this is what's stopping us from reaching our full potential or reaching the next level. I don't want to break up with you. I don't want to leave you. I want us to overcome this together. Once you have a person saying these things, then they've already laid the groundwork for this is a battle that we are going to fight together. Let's come up with a game plan to overcome this. Now, let me tell you something. Even if you, like, I'm going to give you another example about money, yeah? Because it's an easy topic and it's kind of like what's popular right now, right? I would rather a girl be like, yo, I choose you, I want to be with you, you're the guy in my dreams, but you broke. Yeah, you're too broke. So, and then, but I want to be with you, I don't want to leave you, but I have a certain financial standard. How can we reach that standard together? What do I need to do to support you to make that happen? Can you imagine that? What you would do, the mountains that you would climb for a woman that said that? You wouldn't even take it in a negative way because she's there willing to support you. And that's a relationship worth fighting for. Vice versa, like, you know, a guy might be like X, Y, and Z. Like, I love you, you have the most amazing personality, but, you know, ideally, I would like you to, you know, be taking care of your health, for example. Maybe you're overweight. You know, this is a sensitive topic, guys. We need to be adults about it. It's just an example. But you might be, oh, you might be too overweight. I would like my girl to X, Y, Z, 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 Z. How can I help support this health journey for you? What do I need to do is this something that you even want for yourself? Do you want to be living healthy? Do you want to have a certain size dress or this or that? If you do, then I'll support you. If you don't, then it's a conversation of breaking up. But it should be a conversation of, I'm willing to fight this thing for you, with you, or I don't know, my parents hate you. Let's figure out why. Let's have that conversation. Let's sit down. I'm not going to leave you. And they're my parents. So let's try and figure out how we can make this happen. So there's like different scenarios where I would say it's willing, you know, you can fight for the relationship. But then there's other scenarios where, ha, get out of here, man. Get out of here. W's in the chat. Oh, dope question.
It's getting the ick enough to break up with
Hey, I once had a girl, so this is a side note, yeah. I once had a girl say to me that even if a guy did all the right things, if we got to the bedroom and he took off his pants and his boxers weren't Calvin Klein, I'd get the ick and we can't make love. This is what she said, verbatim. She said, if they ain't Calvin Klein, I'll get the ick and we can't do the thing. Can you imagine that? So, but what even is getting the ick? Some of it is valid and some of it isn't valid. The truth is, girls have way more icks than guys. That's for sure. Sorry to say this, but guys are just easier. They're just easier. They're just.
Finish this. I want to hear what your icks are. I have one ick.
You can ask that question. And then, is it enough to? It depends on the relationship, or it depends on the situation. If the ick is like, oh, this person is super unhygienic, like they don't like to shower, yeah, that's GG's for me. So I think an ick is definitely enough to end a relationship, but I think it depends on the ick. Is it something that you can look past and love them for it, or is it something that you can't get over? Because here's the 2 cents.
I knew he was gonna. I knew it. And I saw this guy.
Oh, spider.
Buzzing. There was a bee.
I
saw the guy buzzing around his car. As I looked at it, I said, I know you're coming my way. Relax.
So yeah.
I don't even look like a flower.
So yeah. If the 2 cents is like, if you know you have this ick, you can't blame your partner for this ick. You're like, no one's holding you prisoner. You can leave. So just again, make sure that you're okay with it, whatever it is, and once you've accepted it, you move on. Don't like keep on holding it above their head. A lot of relationships die due to resentment. I would even say 75% of relationships, it's because of resentment. Because people are not able to let things go, they can't move on. They're still stuck in the past, right? They can't just let it go once they've actually forgave X, Y, and Z. So 29th of July, Spider-Man, brand new day.
It's gonna be a brand new day for real.
Yeah, there's something in my shoe. I need to just quickly empty it.
You was holding.
Let me say hello to chat.
Yes, chat. What were we saying? I thought it was a new question, but it's already.
All right, big dub. Great question. All right, next. Oh,
what's your biggest ick?
What's my personal biggest ick?
Yeah.
What is my biggest ick? That's also a question for chat. Chat, what's your biggest ick? What's my biggest ick? I think one of the biggest turnoffs, right, is, and I think it's a bit delusional, because, you know, to an extent, everything is transactional. To an extent, everything is transactional. But we don't want to feel that way, right? We don't want to feel like I have to buy your affection. No man wants to feel like they have to buy your affection. And the second I feel like, you know, you're only here for my resources because I've got money and you want access to my resources, which is the normal thing. Every girl would want that, right? Everyone, like, that's the normal thing. But if I feel like that's the only reason why you're here, or the main reason why you're here is because I'm that guy, I'm J-Dot, I got some money in the bank, and you know, you're not actually, that's the only reason, or the main reason, That's the biggest turn off. It doesn't matter how good you looking you are. It's basically a transactional. If it's gonna be that transactional, why don't I just go to a prostitute? What's the difference? I don't see the difference. You know what I mean? In that scenario. But at least the prostitute, you know exactly what you're getting, as opposed to somebody that you think that you're investing your time, energy into, and actually they're not there for the reasons why you think they're there. And it's always good to clarify that, you know, when you're going on dates. It's always good to clarify that, because you can have an assumption in your mind and actually it's a completely different thing. A question I always ask is, oh, what attracted you to me in the first place? You know, what attracted me to you in the first place? You know, stuff like that, just to try and get an understanding of, are we all on the same page here in this scenario? So that would be my biggest ick, 1000%. Because if I wanted to deal with a prostitute, I would just go and deal with one, right? As opposed to wasting my time and energy whining and dining you for what exactly? For your Instagram reel? I'm good, thanks. You know what I mean? Because there is good women that want to invest and nurture in you, and vice versa. So, you know, let's not waste each other's time. There's also men that also, there is sugar daddies, right? That want to be sugar daddy and want to just have the relationship be transactional. So it's about finding your right person. It's not looking down on anyone's lifestyle, because everyone's different. It's like 8 billion, 7 billion people on the planet. So that's okay. You know, if you want a simp, that is okay. A simp probably wants you, right? So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But talk about my personal opinion, that's what it is. I guess my question is, what's your biggest ick then? You said you had one.
Yeah, I think like there's stuff that's like don't really count as an ick, but you can say like you wouldn't really date them if they had this like.
Well, like smoking and stuff like that.
Like things like that, or like missing teeth or whatever. But I think my actual biggest ick that like if I find this out, like I'm dating the girl, or not I'm dating the girl, or like a girl moves to me and I see this, I'd be like, I don't know. And this is like really bad. This was my only one controversial thing as a human being. One biggest controversial thing as a human being is, oh, it's so bad when I say it out loud. It's just the girl has a Samsung. It's just, I don't know what it is. Something about it. It's like
this guy's biggest ick is if a girl has a Samsung.
I don't know. She's a bit like, I don't know what it is. I think it's
RIP to all the girls with Android.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. You can have your Android. We can be friends.
Oh, Android in the chat. You just a friend zone.
I just think like I don't know. You see, like you see a girl's looking very beautiful and so on, and then they just put out the Android. Just like
it's iPhones only, man. Here.
This is a confusing look. I think I'm a really bad consumer of iPhone. That's probably why I have.
Yeah, it's iPhones only, man.
That is probably why I have that take.
That's one of them ones where it's right person, wrong time. At that time, she had an Android.
They upgraded to the iPhone.
She didn't upgrade to the iPhone. That's the wrong time right there.
Because the reality is like, maybe she got an Android. Like you're paying all the dinners and you're paying everything. Actually, you're paying everything. I know even in a cute way.
We all the way late. Next question, y'all.
Next question is like, do you believe in taking time to grow and getting your person back? That's it.
Taking time to grow and getting your person back.
Yeah, say like a year or 2 of focusing yourself or whatever, and then you meet this girl or boy again.
I'm kind of okay. So the question is, should you ever get back with your ex after a period of time of growth or whatever you want to call it? She got scared. She didn't wave back. She ain't even trying to wave. She trying to start looking to the front. Dobby's in the chat. Anyway, the question is, should you ever get back with your ex after a period of time of growth from either of you? Here is my 2 cents. Once you shit in the bed, you should never lay in it. Even if you took it to the dry cleaners. My language, chat. But that's a great analogy. Even a dog wouldn't go back and do that. I know that's harsh to say. But let me say this. If you broke up, yeah, at whatever time you broke up, there was a valid reason. And
Like,
the
say
only,
you was too broke, Sam.
yeah, I mean,
Broke, too broke.
that's usually the scenario. But if it's a mutual, there's a difference between a mutual breakup and one person breaking up with the other person. Like, there's very different things. And in that scenario, where it's a mutual breakup, you would have already said, hey guys, hey girl, we're gonna mutually break up so then in 3 years from now, we can get back together. So we're going to spend 3 years to focus on ourselves and then come back in 3 years and talk to each other again. There's that scenario. In that scenario, fair enough, because I guess you've both made that decision. And why would you even need to break up though? Let's be real. You wouldn't need to. You just stay together, but stop spending money. If money is the issue, you stay together, but you just stop spending money. So why would you need to break up? So it's bullshit, my language. There's never really a real reason why, unless one person has to fly to freaking Oxford and pursue his PhD in Oxford. He's got a scholarship, it's an opportunity too big for him to refuse, yeah? But again, why wouldn't you just have a long distance relationship? Why do you need to break up? Why does it need to end? It never needs to end. Once it's ended, let it be. Leave it alone. There's no scenario, I think, where you would need to end a relationship. I actually can't think of one. Maybe chat can, but I can't think of a scenario where the relationship ends because of the wrong timing. The whole point of the wrong timing is that there is some type of situation that means now's not the time for us to get to the next level. But that doesn't mean that you can't stay in the same level. Oh, okay. Chat gave us a big one. All right, so let me read this out. I once had this girl ask me in school, and I said yes. She wasn't a 10, but that doesn't matter. It was more so I felt bad saying no, because I had a lot of friends that are girls. She wanted me not to talk to those other girls, even though they talked to me for work or basically normal purposes. And that work was due today. And she got so jealous of that, but she never wanted to spend time. So in the end, I had to end it because it was less of a relationship and more of a job. W is in the chat. I think in that scenario, it's a similar situation to what we've just been discussing. You know, that W chat, like, thank you for that. You had to end that relationship for a reason, you know, and maybe now, like today, she's more mature and would be able to handle you having female friends. It takes time to grow for sure, but that relationship, yeah, that relationship had to end because it was toxic. It was too much. It had already gone past the point of no return. At that point, there wasn't really much that could be done to salvage it. And you know what? That's okay, because you're gonna find the right person for you, and she will find the right person for her. There's just so many people. We kind of get like, we still have a little bit of village mentality, like, oh, she was like the love of my life at the time. But no, yeah, she was at that time, but not anymore. Like, as I said to you, love is not really enough. And in answer to the previous question, like, should I be fighting for it? No, should I go back after a break? By the time that break is over, you will no longer be anyone that would go out with a girl like that. You wouldn't be that anymore. Like, the person that you were at the time of the breakup and the person that you are now, however many years later, is so different. You now need to find somebody on the same wavelength, the same energy as you now. And the issue is, if you're looking backwards, you can't look forwards. So your energy is going to be in the wrong place. You're still going to be doing nonsense, tying yourself up to a situation that that doesn't serve you in any way. Like the situation unless you want to go Tesco. Do you need anything? Because I was going to get a drink from one of them shops down there.
Not that I can think of what's in my head. Really. I know it's like this though.
Okay, we're just crossing the road.
I thought he's done.
No. Okay, let's go. Alright, chat said she didn't want to hug or watch things together or even try hobbies together. He saw her recently and she just parties every day and drinks herself drunk or smokes every day.
Shout out to you, fam, because that is not.
Yeah, W in the chat. See what I'm saying? So it's like the girl that she is now and the guy that you are at now are not compatible. So even if you wait a year, 2 years, the truth is you will be a completely different person. Like the person that has, okay, so money is just a reflection of your accomplishments, right? Of your growth, of your ability to provide a service. So really it's about your internal. Once your internal is at the level where you've provided enough service or you've grown enough, yeah, where you have that level of value that people are willing to pay you a certain amount of money for it, that you can be comfortable in your life. By the time you've reached that level, you will not look twice at that girl. But the issue is, you will never even reach that level if you don't completely remove that girl from your life. You'll never reach it because you'll still be in a level of where you were when you was with that girl. How can you get to the next stage if you can't move on? You're like stuck in a place of time. Does that make sense? So you're literally stuck in a place in time emotionally. So mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you're not gonna grow. Hey. So you need to move on. Hey, hold on. Okay, but your hands are full as well. Yeah. Huh? Just hold it, man. You're not trying to hold it.
It's fine.
It's dark for these men in the car. But I thought she was Chinese, but she ain't even Chinese. Are we back? Are we live? I think so. Yo, welcome to the chat, Birdie. Yeah. How's it going, bro? You good? Drinking
Wow.
blueberry white tea.
Yours.
Cheers. Hey, no, you can't try some? Cheers.
I was like, what, you handed it to me?
Nah, bro. You just came from home from work, yeah? Well, one of my bedrooms. Yeah, we're just doing our podcast. The topic of the podcast is why do people stay in bad relationships? Yeah, Arizona's goated. Well, what was that the topic? I can't even forget the name of the topic. Basically, right? Okay, do you have another question? Okay, this is the next question. We're doing a podcast. The next question is, do I believe in long distance relationships? So the short answer is no. And I'm going to explain why. For some people, long distance relationships like really work. Maybe because of business trips, they need to leave. I knew a couple that are engaged. One of them lived in Hong Kong. The other person lived in Beijing. So it's like significant travel. There's people who have long distance relationships across countries. And here's the thing. So a long distance relationship is solving a problem. Usually the problem is financial. Now the issue with this is, how many times a month do you see them? How many times a year do you see them? That's issue number one. Issue number two is, how can you have a long-term yeah, exactly. Chat just said, just be rich. Yes, uncle. That's pretty much the answer to the, well, to be honest with you, that couple were rich. And that was actually the problem. They both had really good jobs. Well, one had a business, one had a business, and one had a really high-paying role. And the person in the high-paying role didn't want to leave. They couldn't transfer to the same city. And the person who was rich and had a business, their business was in one localized area. So they wanted to be together. Well, they're engaged. And they both had they're both millionaires, actually. These two particular people that I'm talking about are both millionaires, but they couldn't make it work. Two millionaires couldn't make it work because they couldn't, they were in these separate towns, separate cities, and they were unable to find each other, basically, because of the different responsibilities that they had. So that was quite difficult. And anyway, in the end of the day, the reason why I think long distance doesn't work, because it's not a long-term solution. What happens when you want to settle down, have kids, or maybe kids might not be in the cards, but get married, etc., being underneath one roof? Well, at that point, it's no longer long distance, right? So I think it can be a short-term solution, but humans are social creatures. They want to be next to the person that they with. At least most of them want to be with the person that they with. So I don't think a long distance relationship is going to work in the long term. There's definitely going to be problems. And the truth is, you're going to develop relationships with the people that are within your immediate circle. W question in the chat. Do you have another question?
Let me tell you, someone is like, if you're going for like a rough patch, or you should just be together.
This is a good question. This is a good question. So the question is, how can you tell whether you're going through a rough patch in a relationship, or you guys just shouldn't be together, so you're incompatible? It's a good question. Let me use my brain. So I think W chat. I think when you're going through a rough patch, it depends what the rough patch is, right? For example, everything could have been fine, and then, I don't know, someone's mum dies, and the person, I don't know, let's say it's the husband's mum dies or something, and he had a really nice relationship with the mum, so he's a little bit devastated, and he takes it very hard. So you may have anywhere between 3 to 6 months, the guy's got to grieve, right? Where you're going to have a rough time in your relationship where maybe the wife's going to have to really support him through this time. And, you know, he may even change as a person because of that thing, right? So that's another thing to take into consideration. And that is what I would consider a rough patch. Now, if you are having a scenario where you guys are just always arguing, you're always fighting, you know, the situation is toxic, and you know when it's toxic, you know when it's unhealthy, or there's a build-up of resentment, or you guys just can't get along, there's that beefing for no reason. Well, at that point, you guys just shouldn't be together. Like, if you can't find the common ground and get together for the relationship to survive, or then you know, you probably already reached the end of where this relationship can go, and at that point, you just need to move on. So that's a really good question. I can give you another example of when you should. Oh, okay. Chat. So chat said a friend of mine loved to be in this toxic relationship. They were always mad at each other, but apparently that made the good moments even better. W in the chat. I love that one. That's the thing, right? So sometimes so the generation that we're in right now. Okay, thank you. The generation that we're in right now, a lot of people are craving excitement. They want something novel. They want something that gets their blood going. So I also know a lot of guys that, you know, are toxic and like toxic relationships, like it when the girl's arguing with him, slapping him in the face, and he's exactly where he wants to be. You know, he doesn't want to be saved. She don't want to be saved. They're both exactly where they want to be. But those relationships are not, yeah, those relationships are not gonna last. Like, toxic relationship. Well, actually, I say that, but there is some toxic relationships which do last. So let me take that back. Well, because, you know, people can do something unhealthy for the whole rest of their life. To be fair. Yeah, exactly. Let me fix her. Let me fix her. Nah, let me ruin her. Yes. Yo, but you know what? I know guys like that though. I know guys like that. And that's why it's a bit crazy. And some people stay in those relationships and that's what they want. And that's, yeah, you're right. That's exactly where they want to be. And they're happy about that. And they don't necessarily want to be in a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship to them would be boring. A healthy relationship to them would feel dry, you know? And it'll be too stable. And because it's so stable, but you know, those people also usually, you know, you have to think about what the upbringing is. How did they experience love? How did they express love? How did their parents treat them? So there's so many reasons why those people love chaos. Also, we're in a bit of a chaotic world right now, so I really got the Luffy vibes with the hat on.
Yeah, but the hat ain't even.
Yeah, it's a Gucci. Yeah, the Gucci bucket hat. Yeah, we outside for real. W One Piece in the chat. W Luffy in the chat. Okay, that was a good one. Okay, you got another. What's the next question?
See, like,
Walking the long road to One Piece. Yeah, we are the way lit.
if like Because like if you have more like good memories than bad memories in a relationship,
Hmm.
but the bad ones are like quite bad. You've got more good ones. It's still worth staying in that relationship.
Okay, so here's the question. If you have more positive memories than negative memories, is the relationship worth saving? Even if the bad memories are really bad?
You go straight on time.
We go straight and then bust it right. So the short answer to that question is 1 second. Let's just cross the road safely, guys. We are trying to find the One Piece. Let's cross the road safely. The short answer to that question: there is such a thing as too much, or there is such a thing as crossing the line. There is such a thing as, um, you know, dropping the egg. Once you drop the egg is broken. There's nothing you can do when you pick that up and try. You can't put it back in its shell. Once it's broken, it's broken. So, yeah, you may have had a wonderful time in the kitchen. You may have previously made loads of wonderful cakes, but the second you drop the egg, the second you forget to turn off the oven, and the oven explodes and it blows up your kitchen, you can't go back to the way it was. Someone in the chat said a lot of people nowadays are finding dream relationships on Discord and games rather than real life, and they end up getting married and meeting each other. You know what? Do you want to know why? Let me just pause the question. Let me pause that question for a second. Remember the question so I don't forget it, because I forgot already. The reason why, bro, is just remember dropping the egg. The reason why that happens, bro. One, some people find it easier to let their guard down when it's virtual because they haven't got the social pressure of being in person. That's number one. Number two, you might, gaming especially, what do? You're overcoming challenges. You are overcoming challenges together, right? You are adventuring together. You are beating bosses together. So you already are building a trust in that person that, they're gonna save you when you're getting to fight this Pokemon or fighting this boss battle or whatever, right? You have that feeling like, I can trust this person. So you're building all of those oxytocin and that dopamine rush. You're already building that. And there's way less social pressure because it's not in person. And if you're on Discord or if you're on VC, you're talking to that person maybe almost every other day.
I think when it becomes in person, it actually then becomes better. So I can give an example.
Because yeah.
Maybe like just when I was a lot younger. There was a girl, that was in my class that was like pretty much like my best friend, right? But like there's that time when I was properly obsessed with Fortnite. I play it every day. I wake up here, every day, like before dinner, after every day, I stay up playing. And she became like my duo partner. So we would play every single day without fail. Without fail.
Yeah.
All of a sudden our relationship became a bit more changed. We actually even ended up dating for a bit.
Yeah, I think you can build real relationships virtually for sure. Chat saying like this girl messaged from Rivals. She was a nice girl, fine girl, and he didn't talk to her for 1 day, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't want to play with you. It's about vibes, even though we never spoke." So that's interesting. That's interesting. You can develop feelings online. You can develop feelings virtually for sure. There is definitely a difference though between online and virtual for sure. Those things are not the same. And when you see someone online, it may not be like how it is offline. When you see someone offline, it may not be like how it is online. So You can't confuse the two, but you can definitely catch feelings and develop real relationships online. Okay, back to the egg question.
Remember yourself.
Yeah, so basically, because we probably got one more question before we end the stream. So the question was, even if you have more positive memories, if the bad memories are really bad, should you fight for the relationship? And the short answer is, you should not fight for that relationship. Because there is such a thing as crossing the line and doing too much. And if you have a white piece of paper and you scrunch it up, even if you press it out on the table again, it's going to have rips and ripples. It's not going to be the same. So I think there is moments in a relationship, and any relationship, where if you say or do something, you can't come back from that. If somebody mentions breaking up or they broke up, you can't come back from that. If somebody cusses your mom or says you're just like your father, you can't come back from that. So there's a certain level of disrespect. If that happens, that means they were willing, that proves that that person was willing to disrespect you to that level. And that means they don't love and respect you in the way that they should. Why are you going back to that? Even if you have so many positive memories, it still means that that person is capable of doing that big negative thing. So the short answer to that is to leave that alone. Okay, we have time for one quick question before we end this stream and start the game stream. Huh? Yeah.
You love them so much, you're willing to overlook it. Who's in the wrong? Is it you because you're willing to overlook their trust because you love them so much, overlook their mistrust or their lie, or their hiding of information from you because you love them so much and it doesn't matter, or them because they think that they can get away with that because they know you love them so much?
Okay, so the question is,
Who's in the wrong?
who's in the wrong if
Like,
somebody's done something to break your trust, but you love them enough to overlook it? Who's in the wrong? Short answer, your ass is in the wrong. If somebody has shown you their true colors and you choose not to, you choose to ignore that information, yeah, you feel free to just put donut on your forehead. Just feel free to put donut, because yeah, because that's exactly how that's how they're gonna think of you. Format, and he's just gonna accept me back. I can disrespect him and he's just gonna accept me back. So your value, your self-worth in that person's eyes, they're never truly gonna respect you. That's why I said to you, that's what I'm saying. Once certain things are done, it's done. Once certain things are broken, it's broken. Then you're not gonna gain their respect back in the relationship after that. If you actually take them back, it's impossible. It's the deed has been done, and now from now you just need to move on. Afternoon. So now you just need to move on. So in that scenario, you are definitely in the wrong if you take that person back, for sure. And the best thing that you can do in that scenario is to leave that person and build something pure with somebody else. Usually, what's stopping you from leaving is because your self-worth has been hit from that person. You feel like you want to gain it back from them by somehow winning them over, but it never works. The more you give, the less you have, and the more power you're giving that person over yourself and your time, your mind, etc. So that is my 2 cents on that, guys. We are going to end this stream. It was a dope stream, really good questions. Thank you, chat, for all the input as well. I'm gonna shower, eat some food, and spark up for Pokemon Unite stream and Power stream. Thank you very much. Thank you to my brother as well for the podcast. Appreciate you. Chat.